backed him when he laid
That was
down.
the best.
I loved that.
That was one of my
incredible.
favorite moments in any fight. It wasn't even anybody getting hit. Nick lays down. He puts his hands together.
I know. It was like he did Anderson to Anderson. He played. Like,
Yeah.
he played the game, and it was, like, amazing. Nick is incredible.
When Nick starts talking shit to you, I think Frank Shamrock said it best. He's like, you can't believe it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I can't believe this guy's beating my ass, and he's talking shit to me
I
while
know,
he's doing it.
right? Oh.
It's just, I mean, I remember when he fought Robbie Lawler, and he
Mm-hmm.
was just constantly talking shit to him while he was fighting. You could see, like, Robbie was like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
Like, it fucks with their heads.
It does,
fucks
and
with people's heads.
It's the complete, like...
That's the Betch
Oh
Kohea.
my god, I know, right? Oh, Betch. Yeah, no, but it's the complete, like...
He's lying down with his hand by
Oh
his
my
head.
God.
Like he's chilling.
That was
I mean, come
incredible.
on. That's one of the funniest moments in the history of fighting.
It is. Those are the moments when you're just like, this is somebody who doesn't give a fuck.
Well, he was also trying to get Anderson to engage. And Anderson, the whole thing with Anderson was counter-striking. Patrick Cote sort of exposed that in a lot of ways because Patrick Cote didn't lead. He just waited on Anderson. And Anderson was like, I don't like this.
No,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, counter-strikers, they have their own, I guess, their own methodology with being able to read what's happening. And if
Yeah.
somebody doesn't initiate, there's a lot of waiting. Yeah. And waiting is, you know, it makes the fans hate you, and it makes you hate yourself because you get more frustrated. And
Yeah.
your emotions get more intense, right?
Yeah, it's especially when you get to a fight like Wonderboy Thompson versus Tyron Woodley, where you see this waiting thing, and it's just going on and on and on, and, you know, 5 rounds, and you're like, get to the fucking fight.
It's not fan-friendly, right?
Yeah.
But for the fighters, any wrong move at that point in that waiting game is like, that could be death.
Yes.
Or you know,
Well, loss.
Loss,
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure, for sure, for sure. What excites you now that you're not fighting? Like, what excites you about the sport?
oh, the sport, it's the stories. I'm a sucker for the stories. The whole reason I went back to school is I was reading some of those long-form essays the MMA writers were doing. And I was like, you know, and I was doing the matchmaking. I was doing okay at it. I was doing the commentary, but I was like, I'm just not reaching that thing that I was reaching when I was fighting. Something about me is not being expressed. So I took a class, a writing class, wrote an essay, and it got me into school. And I was like, and I mean, it's like one of the best schools for writing. Iowa does 2 things well, wrestling and writing. And so
Really?
to get in there, yeah, I was just so... And I feel alive now. Like, I feel like I'm back to being the Julie I need to be. Like, where I'm hungry for something again, and it's words and stories. And I think that MMA is the perfect, I don't know, avenue for all of these stories. Because, you know, everybody, at first, in old interviews, people would just say whatever the fuck they wanted to say, and they'd do whatever the fuck they wanted to do. And then everybody got savvy to the media, right? And they're just like, I'm only going to reveal this. I'm only going to reveal this.
Right.
And other people played on that, and they're like, I'm going to give more information. I'm going to give sound bites. And so I think that when it comes to communication and words in MMA and what fighters are giving, there's a lot about what's not being said that can really be explored. And I'd really like to know what that is. I want to know what makes a fighter, not what makes a fighter decide to fight, but what makes a fighter decide to wake up the next day after a fight. I you know,
Decide to wake up? What do you
yeah,
mean?
I mean, it's so emotional, it's so crazy, and fighters are such insane people that after a loss, I'm surprised actually there aren't more suicides in